gavel's down. Hit a tilted lawyer in velvet gown. Whispers of law beneath the moon's sweet glow. He's here to guide you through the undertow. From tales of love lost and battles won, to secrets that hide when the day is done. We'll paint the night with stories so stark. Welcome to family law after dark. Light up that cigar and pour a glass of red, as we wade through matters not often said, where hearts and minds often leave a mark. Dive deep into family law after dark. The lawyer's voice smooth like leather. He sings lives only he can tether. In the sultry jazz lounge, let the wisdom flow. Feel the rhythm in the late night glow. Through custody tangles and alimony strife, he navigates the drama of everyday life. With a wry wink and a cheeky remark, let's unravel family law after dark. Light up that cigar and pour a glass of red, as we wade through matters not often said, where hearts and minds often leave a mark. Dive deep into family law after dark. Light up that cigar and pour a glass of red, as we wade through matters not often said, where hearts and minds often leave a mark. Dive deep into family law after dark.
Happy Friday, you crazy kids. It's Family Law After Dark.
Oh my God.
What an entrance by the Schnitzel, by the Ninja. Coming in hot.
Starting it off hot and wet tonight. Jeez, oh Pete.
Jesus, Brad, who said that?
Well, I mean, with an exclamation like that, how can you not be?
Oh, well, it's officially Friday. It's Friday afternoon. It is another edition of FLAD. We're going to have some guests joining us a little bit later. Amy Boston and Kelly are going to be joining us from their YouTube channel. Lauren's going to come in for a spell, and we're going to see how long she lasts before she ADHDs out and leaves us in the lurch. But hey, how you folks doing? What's up, Ninja? How you been?
Great.
What is good in your world?
I mean, just summer. You know.
Totally. It's been a long, crazy week. I'll tell you that. It's been man, I haven't posted much this week because of trial and work and bullshit and stuff. I was even supposed to do a stream with Brad last night. Then I got too late.
Well, we tried to get it done like 2 weeks ago, and then we pushed it, and then we pushed it.
I had a hearing this morning that I thought was going to be wrapped up like in 5 minutes, and it took the entire morning, and I couldn't anymore. So I got timed out of that. What's up, Kelly?
Hi, how are ya?
How you doing, young lady?
Hey, how are you? Brad, I've watched you a long time. You just don't know it.
Really?
I've been watching
shows.
He's blushing.
Oh,
I was pre-gaming at Applebee's on $5 margaritas.
Owens. I started watching you with Dave, Neil, and stuff. That's how I found Omar and found you, Ninja. I found you through Lauren. I stalk all you guys. You just don't know it.
Yes.
Well,
we're all stalking each other.
Yeah.
It's so much fun.
You know, it's cool like to stalk people. It's when you make your stalking known.
Oh, I tell people flat out, I'm stalking you.
Well,
I told half my friends that I've met in the Karen Reed case, I'm like, just because it's over doesn't mean you get to go anywhere. I will find you. Don't think I won't. I will find all of you.
Showing up
you
at my
know what?
house
When
till
that
my
verdict
dog's
came
walk
out, I was getting ready for my trial. I was going into my trial as the verdict came out,
Oh,
and so I
jeez.
could
Well,
not.
first they had the butt
respond
down
on it.
verdict.
Oh, I heard about that.
Where they
was-
had
lost
it
the
for-
verdict for him?
Crazy.
Never mind, we don't have a verdict. And I was like, are you kidding me? I
All right, now is the time to talk shit about the judge when it's all done and over with and everything kind of worked out.
Beth Canoni's a bitch. There.
I said it. Let me tell you, as soon as the verdict was done, I went off because I was literally crying. I mean, all of us were in tears because we've been in the case and we've been part of this.
Couple years now, right?
So like all of my friends, I'm in Florida, but all of my friends are in Massachusetts.
Yeah.
Mm.
All my friends are too.
So my Amy, when she's gonna come up in a little bit, she had to get Caden out of the bathroom and she was gonna come up.
Adulting, you know.
Yeah.
So that parenting thing kind of gets in the way sometimes.
Tell me about it.
But we had everybody on panel that we started our channel with there because how we started our channel is we were mods for another channel, and Amy and I had talked about doing our own, and so we had just started, and they came on and did like an interview with us, but it was the day before or the first day of trial, and he saw some of his mods in another chat and he got upset of somebody else's chat because God forbid we have two screens going or something like that, right?
Right.
And he went off on all of us in the middle on a live, and so 5 of us turned around with our hands together and a big old finger in the air and said, we're going to our own. And we
Better than
started
a finger
That's
in
one
the
way to
ass.
start a channel.
Go for it.
that's how we started our channel, and we started streaming the first day of court. None of us really knew what the hell we were doing. I'm feeding a baby hedgehog while we're here, by the way.
Lisa, yes, we're in the jungle. Welcome to the jungle, baby.
House. Kelly's house is a zoo. Okay, I have a zoo. If it bothers you, I'll mute myself.
Oh, nobody cares about your. No, it doesn't bother anybody. Is that why you have mermaid hair, Ariel?
I'm Ariel. I wanted to be Ariel my whole life.
And now you're all grown up and you've become.
No, I went red because I've been blonde my whole life. So I went red mainly because
Not yet, Equinot. I'm getting there.
my son has cancer and
Oh.
he's in, not to bring everybody down, but he's also nonverbal autistic, epileptic, and he's a St. Jude patient. So I was at St. Jude, or we had gone through chemo already and went through 2020 and he got off chemo and then he relapsed again. And we had to go back on chemo. And right before I went to St. Jude, I was like, I got to do something. And so I was like, either cut it off, make it black, or make it red. And my friend was like, okay, so we're going red.
Well, you made the right choice.
Mhm.
So, and
That's
I've kept
great.
it that way. I feel more myself than I ever have with the red hair. But
That's awesome. I like it a lot.
thank you.
Why don't you say we get into our first case?
All right.
We'll not worry about the stragglers.
I will mute a little bit so the birds aren't interrupting while you're talking.
No worries. All right, let me share my screen and then we'll get into case number 1. Is it this one? Yeah. All right. So this person says, so my wife wants a divorce.
She's cheating on you. Get over it. All right. Next story.
Listen, Brad.
I
now's not the
like
time to be
$5
Republican.
margarita, Brad.
Been
Bring
there,
this
done that.
energy every week.
Brad's coming in pissed off.
Been there, done that divorce thing.
So he says, so right now, I'm empty. I don't know how I could ever be okay again. I have been married to my wife for 8 years. 8 years, and they're 28. We both met in the Army, and I slowly fell in love with the strong, compassionate, and passionate woman that I met. After a year of dating, we tied the knot. A few years later, I decided to finish my time in the Army because of how poorly I was treated for a long time. Poorly treated by the Army?
Yeah.
Isn't that
Yeah.
kind of par for the course?
You can get messed with by your chain of command if for whatever reason, if you find a good old boys club and whatnot. So you could just be sick and tired of the bureaucratic nonsense.
You know what? I got to get me some new soundboard material from that one movie with what's it? What movie I'm talking about, Brad? I know you know the movie.
I need a little bit more context.
This one where the guy's like yelling at everybody, like all these crazy insults, and
from
Gomer Piles or something, and then he goes crazy at the end.
No, not Gomer Pyle. It's
It's not?
I can think of it. It's Sergeant Arlie Ermey in Full Metal Jacket.
Full Metal Jacket. Full Metal Jacket. That's the movie. The guy's name's not Gomer Piles?
No, he called him Gomer Pyle.
Oh.
But his name wasn't Gomer Pyle.
Well, the more you know, I guess. Anyway.
Gomer Pyle was like a dorky little character, right? Like,
right.
Have you ever watched the movie?
No, not that one. But
well, then I'm not going to spoil it for you any further. Just know that I'm going to have new soundboard material for FLAD next week, and
the intro is great.
That movie.
I'm interested.
All right. Anyway, let me continue with this. All right. So she's passionate woman I met. After a year of dating, we tied the knot. A few years later, decided to finish my time in the Army because of how poorly I was treated for a long time. Wife was my rock during that time. I really hate that word. I hate when people say, "Oh, she was my rock," or "he was the rock of the family." Oh, shut up with that. Listen,
Do you
kid.
prefer rock or anchor?
If you want to get into creative writing, you'd be best served to lay off of the cliches. It'll make you sound smarter. It'll make people pay attention to you more. Anyway, my wife was my rock during that time, as it was until now. The hardest thing in my life, transitioning away from the military.
Hey, it was the hardest thing. She was the hard rock.
Miss Nighty, how you doing, young lady?
Can't hear you.
Muted.
Hey there, Lauren.
See, I did the same thing on her stream like an hour ago, and now she's getting me back. And then she accused me of derailing her stream, even though like 2 weeks before that, she was literally army crawling in my office and throwing like little paper grenades and like pulling my chair when I was live on camera.
I like when she portrayed you. She was pretending to be you in your office.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah.
That was my favorite. I was dying.
She got to sit in the chair. All right, so I found, she was caring for my emotional insecurities. And Brad, is it just me, or does this guy like kind of like exhausting?
He's a bitch.
All right. Yeah, I like Margarita Brad. We need to see more of that.
Oh man, I didn't know that's what I was walking into.
Is it just me, or is he being a little bitch? Like, what are we doing here? Feels like he is. My wife, okay, she was caring. I found a job in my field that I love. Our marriage was far from perfect, though. We were young, really didn't know how to love each other in the way that the other needed yet. Ongoing physical issues also made it so physical intimacy was non-existent to the extreme. These were serious hurdles, but we were determined to figure things out. My wife was then stationed overseas by herself for a year and a half. This was another tough part of our marriage. It's never easy to be involuntarily separated from your partner for so long. She struggled with making time with me when possible a priority, and I struggled to effectively communicate what I needed. Eventually, we finished our time apart and moved to Germany together for the next 3 years. We enjoyed the opportunity to see the world together, made some of the greatest friends that we could ever ask for. Again, I'm under no illusion that our marriage was perfect. I struggled to find a job that compared to the world I did in the States, leading to a slightly lower household income along with a higher cost of living. This led to semi-regular disagreements about how to manage finances. I want to save. She wants to spend. Of course, she's the one that wants to spend. Of course, he's the one that wants to save, right? Things would rarely get to a point where we hadn't at least reached a small form of compromise after a week. Before we had the opportunity to leave back to the States, she had to fight some very serious false allegations of shoplifting from the shopping faculty on post. They ended up costing us 8 months in an empty house, $2,000. My income for those 8 months, this happened literally 3 days before we were supposed to fly out. So I had resigned my position. So after all of, how long is this fucking thing? All right.
Dude, I was reading that.
After all that hardship was behind us, we had major hurdles to get over. After getting back to the States, our savings were gone. Housing costs were crazy due to how short our turnaround was moving. We had a very expensive vet visit shortly after getting back to stateside. That resulted in the loss of one of our pets, no car, me having a really hard time securing employment without a car. I needed a job to save the money for the car, many other small things. My wife had to, you know what? This is why you don't get married in your 20s. Why in the fuck would you do that?
I know plenty of people who got married in their 20s. They're doing fine.
90% of them don't work out.
Military.
Oh, I don't talk to those people. Sorry. I mean, I don't know.
Military at a young age. My ex was Coast Guard, and it's not for weak of heart. So, and the fact that she's actually out there like stealing, I don't understand why she got caught shoplifting.
Yeah, I can't help you with that one.
That's like a whole story. Like that doesn't even really have anything. I mean, I know it has to do with the money, but like part of being military and stuff, I don't know why she's doing that, because everything on base is hell of a lot cheaper than it is in public. So
I mean, unless you're stealing a phone from the kiosk in the PX, like it sounds like a lot of money. It's not like you're just going to walk out with a TV. Like,
could I just explain? Listen, as to this guy, look, he's a sweet boy. He's 28 years old. And good for him. He grew up on Disneyland stories about how marriage was supposed to be. You get married and then you live happily ever after. And it's okay if we don't have any money. We're going to survive on love.
You're talking about the dude who wrote this, right? Because I got it late. So.
No, you should have heard what Brad had to say.
Uh-oh.
He came in talking about how they were mean to him in the Army, and that's why he quit his post. And but this girl was like a rock.
I don't know if that's why, but he was catching some shit in the Army.
Can I just go back? I decided to finish my time in the Army because of how poorly I was treated for a long time. To which Brad said, "Yeah, that guy's a little bitch." This was coming from Brad. I didn't even say it this time.
That's a fair assessment.
And so they get married at 20. They have no money. He's got no career. They got no skills. They got no hireable skills. They got nothing that they could build off of. They're literally still in the process of building, and their brains are 7 years from being fully formed into the adults that they're going to be for the rest of their lives. What percentage chance would you give these two young lovebirds for having a successful marriage?
Terrible.
Well, clearly terrible. But like, if you had to put a number on it, what would it be?
I think they're going to go with the distance.
Considering his wife wants a divorce, then.
So yeah, since it started out as she wants a divorce, not very far. But being in the military as a military spouse, I didn't call myself a military wife because those were the bitches. Just so you know.
All right.
They call them dependas.
Well,
they can be called dependas, but
I heard
that. Military wives are not nice. I would say that. And so when I was a military spouse, and I don't give it a very high rating. It's very hard to be in the military, being the one at home, stuck with the kids by yourself, and him being gone. Like he was on deployment, things like that. And I don't see them going very far.
Well, they're not going. This one is done. Like whatever this is done very clearly. This guy has
a generalized military relationship.
Oh well, generalized.
Well, they were both in the Army, or both in the. Yeah, they met in the Army. So if they were both in the Army, he got out because he couldn't take it, and then she continued on. And so she's wearing the pants in the relationship. He's the stay-at-home dad, wife, whatever you want to call it. And he's not.
I don't think she just started wearing the pants. I think she's had those pants on the whole time.
She may have been wearing them the entire time.
I'm sorry, guys. Are we saying that she's single now, or because
go for it, Lauren. I'll get you her number.
Yeah,
find her.
Yeah, give me a Reddit girl's phone number, please.
We'll start an all-out search.
But this guy has such an insecurity complex already. They said some physical problems caused physical intimacy issues. So this dude is just
at the bottom of that. What was he talking about?
It was at Upmore. Keep going. Whoa.
All right. Here we go. Ongoing physical issues also made it so physical intimacy was non-existent to the extreme. These were serious hurdles, but we were determined to figure things out. So they don't got no money. They don't got no means to make any money. And the one thing they could afford to do, they can't because of physical issues. So doomed from the start, I guess, would be the one way to classify this.
I wouldn't even call it doomed from the start. It's they were hot and heavy in the beginning, and they decided to get married.
Yeah, but so are 15-year-olds. That doesn't make them not doomed from the
reality
start.
smacks them in the face, and then they're like, well, this sucks. Because marriage can present itself all kinds of different problems, and they found every problem and went the wrong way with it because they have no stability in finances, which is like one of the leading causes of divorce is financial issues. And then she steals something, causes more financial issues. They then they get back home. They have no money from savings. They have a cat or a pet that has to die. They have no car. They can't earn money because they don't have the car. They're just completely effed up at the moment. And it's
hey, Brad, could you and your wife survive off of love alone?
Love alone? I mean, I would say that our entire marriage has survived off of love alone.
Okay, but no finances, wrecked finances, no prospects of a career. Just at the very beginning stages of trying to find your way in the world. Pets dying, no physical intimacy, and all you have in the world is love.
Well, of course, because my wife is awesome like that. But it really comes down to different personalities. Some people can do that kind of commitment. Other people, they recite the words that they're told to at the altar, but they don't have the intent and meaning behind it.
Well, I'll just give you a reality check on that. So I do this for a living, as you well know. And I can tell you in good conscience when couples say stuff like that, oh, we could survive on love alone. We'll get through anything. Look, when you talk about those vows, about loving and obeying until death do you part, and all those things that you say in traditional wedding vows, the reality of it is that, holy shit, people don't know what that really means. You know, at first you begin and it's all excitement and it's all like everything is brand new and you're going through the upswing of the relationship. And then you figure out that, hey, she's got some peccadillos that I'm not cool with and she doesn't like some of your peccadillos, and you learn to compromise the things that you don't like about each other because you believe in the greater good of the relationship. But when you get married and reality hits you like that, and you don't have your finances together, and you don't have a solid structure that is going to sustain the household, that person that you started off with, where everything was all excitement and lust and infatuation and fun, all these different things, adventure, they now become the source of your pain. They become the source of your anxiety. They become the source of your disdain. And ultimately, they become the source of your regrets. And when you ask my opinion about why most people end up in a divorce, it's because all of those nice, flowery things that you were taught to look for in a future marital spouse have been replaced by all of the realities of life with no recourse for holding on to the things that brought you together in the first place. And so here you got these 20-year-olds, and they engaged each other with the best of intentions. And then they're in the army, so they don't even have their own freedoms. They can't even wake up in the morning when they want to wake up. They can't even go and do what they want to do. They are in the army. Their lives are being run literally by the government.
Mm-hmm.
And they have no money to speak of. And when they finally extricate themselves from that situation, they have nothing to stand on. And then it becomes, well, what in the fuck did I get married to this effing guy for? Now, he's not saying that. He's not saying that. But I feel like women, much quicker than men, for many different reasons, come to these conclusions much faster whether that be because they mature quicker or because, I don't know. Oh, am I missing something?
We're better.
Not yet.
We're better.
What was that?
I said
Who's whispering?
I was saying we're better. We're better. It's because we're better.
Oh,
You're supposed to whisper that to me in private.
You've been actually saying girls rule and boys rule. Okay.
oh, I should have known that's what was going on. Anyway,
I'm a little on the fence with that one, to be honest.
women come to these realizations much quicker than men do, and this guy's still wrapped up in like his 14-year-old fantasies of running off with Cinderella over there, living in the Grand Castle, and rabbits and squirrels and birds are singing love songs as they wake up in the morning as the sun rises.
That's a nightmare, not a fairy tale. What? I don't understand people at
that's
all.
the world that this young man is living in. He's trapped in because he's failed to grow up.
Got it.
Well, I feel
he might be. He may be. I mean, I don't know. Lauren said it.
Well, I live at Cinderella's castle, as you can hear. I have all the animals.
I saw dogs, I saw cats back there. There are a lot of animals.
I've got a husky. I have my husky is my son's dog. I'm babysitting. It's my grand puppy. They went on a cruise to Alaska, and I have 3 baby hedgehogs. I'm bottle feeding right now. That's what I was doing when I came on.
Wait, you have hedgehogs? Oh, I want to see that.
Yeah, do I see one?
Yeah.
Yes.
They just open their eyes.
Oh, it's so tiny.
Oh, it's like a little squishmallow.
Mm-hmm.
Don't squish it.
Adorable.
If you want one, Lauren, you can have one.
I don't know what I would do with it because I leave all the time.
They're actually the easiest ones to take care of.
I would get one of those for my girls, but they would 100% start playing catch with it.
Well, how do they do going through TSA?
They need to stay a little bit more warm than where'd the other one go? I'm missing one.
We'd probably do better than most animals, honestly.
Yeah. Here you go. Here's the other 2. So,
what are you talking about? Quarter pendulum opinion. Obey me, Justin.
It's not important.
Toes.
Those ones are darker. They got little darker spikes.
Those are
Just Ricardo. Hello, lovelies. I'm at work. Keep me entertained. We're gonna do our best to entertain Ricardo.
Since I'm teaching all about hedgehogs, but I used to breed them, and my friend, so they all just opened their eyes the other day. I got them at a week and a half old, and I've been feeding them for the last 2.5 weeks.
Jeez.
Every 2 hours. I'm trying to keep. I lost 2. There was 5, but I lost 2. But they've all stayed alive, and so my friend who took them, she called.
Luann.
You're a rat. I promise. It's not.
No, I think she was talking about me.
Oh, I was like, it's not a rat, I swear. But the hedgehogs, I have a love for hedgehogs anyway. I bred them for a long time, but I got sick, so I couldn't do it anymore. And so someone bought my business, and she's the one that calls. She calls me all the time for help, and so she called and was like, "Help! Like I really need help." So I have now been living on my couch with my hedgehogs next to me, and the rest of my zoo.
All right. Let's get these hedgehogs on the
Oh, you guys
job
aren't done talking about
guy.
this. Oh my god!
I know, Lauren. See, I give her like 8 minutes before she pieces out.
I might take a break and eat some Cheez-Its, but I'll be back.
Hey, I made some bomb ass mac and cheese for my daughter. We're open to have some. It's in the fridge.
Thank you, Hate.
I'm on my way.
I think these people probably have. People start so young when they get married. If I could go back and tell my younger self not to get married so young, and to let life happen and learn, I would have, because I think that I got married at 22 and had a baby at 23, moved to Alaska like a week and a half later, and I'd never lived with a man. Like all of a sudden, here I am living with a guy I didn't know, and we were married 13 years, but I will tell you that it was not an easy thing that I've done. It's not I had to put everything into it. And when I stayed longer than I should have because of my children, because I didn't want to give up for them. And I think that's a lot. That was my story for me, at least. I wanted to make sure that I could look my older boys in the eyes, because I have a 26 and a 23-year-old with him. And tell them that I did everything I could possible to make it work with their dad. I just for them to be happy, I had to be happy, and I wasn't happy anymore. So I had to leave. So you add military into there, you add she's stealing stuff. So you got criminal issues you have to add into there and deal with. You have no money. I can tell you right now, the marriage I'm in now, we don't have money. We have a child with cancer. We don't, you know what I mean? Like, we pay the bills when we can get them. And I know at the last minute I can pay a bill so I don't get it turned off. So, but my husband and I, we live off love. Like, we love each other, and that is what gets us through now. So if I didn't have him, my best friend, I wouldn't be able to make through what I go through every day.
There's a million other dynamics that are going on in that situation that is different from this one.
Yeah. I'm just kind of explaining like the love portion of it. Like,
well, the love portion is born out of fire. And you have to have a measure of overcoming to be able to bond that to some level of security. Because if you don't, then you have no evidence that you're going to be able to deal with adversity. And this young lady has decided that, you know what? Fuck this guy. I'm out. He's not going to be the one. And maybe there's a lot of merit to that, because way back up here, he literally pieced out of the army because he was being treated. They were mean to him.
Yeah.
He couldn't take his PT or whatever. But to put a bow on this is how it concludes. I just don't understand fully what the hell happened here. I still love my wife with everything that I have. I'm completely blindsided. I truly feel empty. I don't know what I'm supposed to do here. Any observations or perspectives that I can't see right now would be really appreciated. This would be the one time where I feel like it would be appropriate to tell this guy, this young man, that he should probably stop crying about all of the bad things that are going on and stand up and do something about it. Because go for it, Brad. Here's the thing. Up at the top, the top paragraph. Her graduation day comes and I drive. Nope. Too far. Her graduation day comes and I drove 10 hours to be there and pin on her new promotion. We drive all the way home and she tells me she wants a divorce. She says she's been unhappy for a long time and realized that she's happier on her own. She says that she resented that I left the army and hadn't had a job for so long. She's calling him a bitch. She says, you didn't stay in the military. You didn't get a job when we were in Germany. You're not leading as a man, and I resent you because of that. I can do better on my own than be tied to you. How do you ladies feel about that characterization by Brad, that you're not leading as a man?
I'm a lesbian, so don't ask me.
I agree 100%. Like, he's not doing what he was supposed to. Like, you make a commitment to each other to pull each other's weight, and if you're not doing what you set out to do, and you can't keep a job, then Brad's right. You can't. It's not going to work.
So, in order to find a partner that you're willing to subsist on love alone, because that comes from dealing with adversity and getting yourself through it. Because then, rather than associating your partner with all of the perils of life, you then associate them with the way that you get over the perils of life. And those are two completely different things. And so for her, she's accomplished, she graduated, she's accomplished some things. She's stuck and held up her end of the bargain for 8 years. And this fucking guy quits the army, doesn't have a job. She's having to steal to keep the family afloat while he sits there and bitches and moans about how unfairly he's been treated and how everybody's too stupid to see the genius inherent in him. If only he'd be hired by somebody, he'd totally be the CEO at Amazon. But he is not that guy. He is, I guess, I don't know. What is he, Brad? How would you characterize this young man?
A bitch.
A legend in his own mind? Hero to none.
Yeah.
I like Brad. He's a bitch.
He's a little bitch.
I don't know what you guys are whining about. He sounds like the perfect woman.
I mean,
in today's day and age, he very well could be, but
he is the perfect lesbian.
Everything I aspire to be, I guess.
You know, I told Lauren the other day that I'm basically a lesbian.
I agree with that. No, I agree with that.
She's like,
no, that's true.
My husband says he is. So.
Yeah, I told her it doesn't matter. It's like I'm even dressed like a lesbian. She's like,
I think you are 100% like an early 80s man, like almost late 70s.
What the hell does that mean?
Just the things 80s. You say.
I say some shit, I do, but I feel like well, let's just say that I'm definitely was born in 1980. Mm-hmm. I definitely have.
You were for sure born in the 60s or something. There's no way that you're that young.
Well,
you were born in 1980. I'm older than you. Are you serious?
How old are you?
I don't know. How old are you?
How old are you guys?
How old? Shut up!
That was awesome.
That would be my child that just gave me away. I was gonna say 29, but I'm 48.
Yes, you're older than me.
That sucks. I feel now I'm the grandma.
Well,
right. Don't worry, he looks older than you, so it's fine.
There you go.
That helps a little bit.
Also, Bruce is not here. He's usually the oldest.
For anything, I can't hold a secret. So
look, man, I am 100% born in 1980. There are words that I'm actively trying to stop saying.
Oh, I know which they are. Yeah.
But yeah, I'm a little more harder in my beliefs.
I did not need to know about your boner. Thanks.
Jesus, Lauren.
I asked you to stop calling me Jesus.
Oh, I mean, you look so much like him sometimes.
Sometimes.
Should we move on to another case?
In the middle of court case.
All right. I think we're done with this guy. So is the general, general consensus, is this guy the problem?
Yes.
Yes.
I think communication was the problem. But yes.
But the thing is communication is great, and it would have been nice for her to express her feelings to him, to say, you need to figure yourself out, or else I'm going to leave you.
Or to say, these are my expectations in the relationship. I expect you to have a job. I expect my partner to have a job. I expect this and this and this, and these are my standards. She can choose how supportive she does or doesn't want to be, but if she doesn't voice what she wants, then I think maybe she waited too long to really share that, but he wasn't helping things.
But
well, we didn't get her side of it, Maybe she did tell him those things. Maybe she didn't. Who knows?
It's gone on so long that she doesn't want to say it now. She's just pissed. You know what I mean? She's just held it in for so long. She's like, now I don't even want to talk about it. I'm just done. I don't want to be with you.
Well, let us move on to case number. Hey, what's up, young man? Playing with the dogs.
Hey, man.
She's 48.
This is the one who outed me, you guys. My 9-year-old. Hi. He has to come on and say hi at all times. So.
Totally something I would have done as a 9-year-old. That was awesome.
I can't hide it anymore. Like, he's just gonna out me no matter what. It could be anything. He's gonna say it.
I don't know what to tell you, man. He is the spawn of you.
Daniel thinks he's the hero of the night. He's crazy. This child, he's another breed in his own. So.
Well, I hope not. But
oh my God, this paragraph is so short. It's my speed.
Oh, you want to read this one, Lauren?
No, I just want to listen to it.
All right, I'll read it.
Yeah, no, I took the gummy about 40 minutes ago. I'm dead. We're done.
Oh, is it one of the ones that I gave you, or did you eat those already?
No, I wouldn't bring those home. I'm not gonna crime. I didn't bring it on the airplane. So,
but those were the shit, though, weren't they? Those were strong.
They were so sleepy, man. So sleepy.
All right, I'll do it.
They were called or do it, Brad.
They were called Do It, Brad.
You got to put on your radio voice to make it happen.
Oh no, please.
Between gossip, in-laws, cell phones, and social media, now
I'm dry. Okay.
Oh, God damn it.
No WAP over there.
Now our marriage is on a shoestring. No real emotions, no true communication, no stable, secure relationship. Oh, fuck.
Strength of that.
So did somebody say communication? I am dry.
Leads me to feeling sad and not wanting. I've always shown him I want him, and he even said, I give you an A for effort. I said, what the fuck? So I'm the only one who has to show interest in the relationship? I said, I have feelings too. He won't stand up for me anymore, and it totally doesn't make sense. Please help. I don't know what to do. He threatens divorce because I said I wanted a divorce when he didn't stand up for me when he knew he should have. So now he thinks he doesn't have to stand up for me anymore. Learn how to break up your sentence.
Brad sounded a little distressed there, and I'm not going to lie, I perked up.
I didn't ask you to read it like a monster truck ad.
Well, I'm trying to figure out.
Friday, come watch the big monster truck run over cars. And
I thought he sounded like a damsel in distress. What were you listening to?
I don't know. It was the emotion.
Any advice appreciated?
No, that was
and scene. Okay. Yeah. Gossip, in-laws, cell phones, social media, marriage on a shoestring, no emotions, no communication, no stable, secure relationship.
So we have the bitch of a relationship who can't stop expositing about how he's doing everything wrong. And then this one, we get such a short paragraph, we can't even glean any information out of it.
Why are there so many bitches?
Brad is on one right now.
I agree. She's a bitch.
Man.
Hold on. Let's hear her out. Let's give her a chance. She's sitting in my office and she starts this way. Let's break this down. All right.
I've seen your office. It's conducive to emotional distress.
Yeah, it might be. That's why so many people cry in my office. Leaves me to feeling sad.
Especially Jocelyn. Oh my God. Can't believe this is my job.
I've always shown I want him. He even said I gave you an A for effort. I said, what the fuck? So I'm the only one who has to show interest in the relationship. I said I have feelings too. He won't stand up for me. Totally doesn't make sense.
What does gossip, the in-laws, and cell phones have to do with him wanting you in a relationship? Like,
well, let us break it down. Cell phones, in-laws, social media, gossip. Their marriage is like a pawn for their family. They get talked about. They probably talk about her. They're probably the topic of conversation for whatever reason, and she doesn't like it. She clearly doesn't like her in-laws. She starts up and leads off with gossip. And he's not standing up for her. Like, there's a lot of talk about her, about she's this and she's that, and maybe he's like the golden child. Maybe he's like this guy that's got admitted to Duke, and he had this 4-year degree, and he got there, and he's got the big job or whatever, and she's just kind of following in his footsteps, riding his coattails. That's what it feels like. And everybody's talking shit about her, about not being worth anything. What does she really do for you? Maybe they're like, you're such a high value man. Why would you be stuck with this gold digger? And then he can't, or doesn't want to, or has no ability to stand up for her in the moment. When I phrase it that way, how does it change your characterization of her?
Well, mildly.
Think of season. You know what this is? This is season 1 of White Lotus.
So Miley Mercury says that the toxic mother-in-law with the golden son, and that makes a lot of sense when you put that in the perspective. When she say that to this paragraph of what information that we have, it does seem like that. Like,
you see, all we have to do is break down a little bit. That's all.
She's not good enough. I'm not gonna lie. It didn't really make sense when we were first reading. I had read it twice and I still didn't understand it. But
could you imagine how many people come to my office and lead off with this kind of stuff when I have to break it down and figure out what they're saying? Mm-hmm. This is what she's saying. Maybe that's exactly what it sounds like. Golden child. This lady's not good enough. She doesn't come from our ilk. She's not worthy of our family. She's this, she's that. She hasn't even gone to college.
And her mother-in-law probably tells them all the time, why are you with her? Why are you doing this?
Maybe she's a little physically self-conscious. Maybe she's carrying on like an extra 15 pounds because of I don't know, maybe they had a kid together. She didn't say here, but maybe maybe a lot of things. But the point is that she feels insecure going around the family. And amidst all of the strays that she's catching from the in-laws, from the gossip, from the cell phones, from the social media, this fucking guy is either incapable or unwilling to defend her honor. Now that I've phrased it in that context, Who's the actual asshole in this scenario?
He is. I mean, to me, the social media also aspect of it can be a whole different thing. Like if he's talking to people that she doesn't trust him on social media.
Look at Rob's avatar, man. What is that face?
Hey, Rob.
When did he make that? Hey, Rob, he's got
idea.
a new picture. She may be an instigator of rumor, social media, and she may be an instigator of rumor. I don't know. Well, I have no evidence to suggest that. But I would sincerely doubt she's the instigator of anything. I think that it sounds like he's a mama's boy. Mom disapproves of her. Mom didn't picture him being with somebody that looks like her. However you want to take that. Maybe she's not blonde. Maybe she's not brunette. Maybe she's not skinny. Maybe she's not fit. Maybe she's not as attractive as mom hoped. Maybe she thinks it's bad breeding. Maybe she thinks that she doesn't have any career prospects. Maybe she doesn't come from a good family. Maybe she doesn't have the academic wherewithal to blend with their bougie-ass family. And she says all of these things, and she's constantly under attack, and this fucking guy will not defend her honor. That's
you guys
a problem.
got all this from 3 sentences? Fuck.
I got all this from 3 sentences. And
damn, you're long-winded.
I know. What I'm willing to say is, I don't read a sentence like that and read like she's the asshole or she's the crazy one. There's something underneath the surface here. There's something bubbling beneath the surface that she's not saying, and maybe she doesn't have the ability to say. And what does she say? I have feelings. He won't stand up for me. It doesn't make sense. Please help. I don't know what to do. He threatens divorce because I said I wanted a divorce when he didn't stand up for me, when he knew he should have. So now he thinks he doesn't have to stand up for me anymore. Any advice appreciated. If I'm reading this in the light most beneficial for her, it sounds like exactly what I described. What's her name described? Who said that? Was it Michelle Moulton? Mildly Mercurial said that. He needs to grow a spine with his mama.
I have an alternate face again. God damn it, guys.
I don't know. What do y'all think about it? Am I off or am I on to something?
I honestly wasn't listening.
I think you're when you read it and I read her comment, it just clicked. Like, I feel like he is a mama's boy and she's probably getting talked about and invalidated, and she is not getting he's not helping. He's not jumping in and saying, that's my wife. Don't talk about her like that.
What do you think about all of this, Ninja?
I think he's an asshole and she needs to leave him.
Did you think about that after I deduced what was going on, or did you think
before? It felt like he was not being the supportive partner, and he's like doing tit for tat. Like, well, you said this before, so now I'm going to use it as a manipulation tactic against you. And I don't really see him being someone willing to like work through things with her, get therapy, go to counseling, work on himself. So I think that she would probably just be happier off without him.
Maybe. Or maybe more at peace at the very least. Brad, when we first started reading her post, you were you called her a bitch within the first couple of sentences.
I did not.
That's a little hard. You totally did. I will play back the tape.
After he read it, he read the whole paragraph before he called her.
Oh, right after the first paragraph. But you
the whole thing is a paragraph.
After considering the context in which I framed it.
I don't know, because the problem is I think you're close to identifying what the core issue is, but is there some lack of introspection on her part? Maybe. Are they gossiping because she stays at home all day and doesn't do anything, and then he's been trying to work with her to try and get her into either a career or something, and she doesn't feel motivated to try and better her life? She just wants to stay at home. There's so many things that could be going on, because he's like, yeah, Mom, I'm trying to work with her on finding a job, getting some employment, finishing a degree, any of these possible things, and she just doesn't want to do it. And then so now she becomes the talking point of the family at Thanksgiving because she's just staying at home and not doing anything. There's no mention of kids or anything. So it's really just comes down to, how can we help her through therapy or whatever, try and figure out what is the core thing that's causing the distrust? Is it some kind of depression that's causing her to want to stay home? Is there something external that she can't focus on, and she just needs to work on getting some better ways of managing stressful situations? There's so many ways that this can be piecemeal together, but we just don't have the information to make a really good judgment on it.
Well, I mean, you're making a lot of assumptions, and we don't have a lot to go off.
Was there anything more than this paragraph to this story? Like,
no, this is it. This is all we get.
I feel like we're projecting a lot onto this paragraph.
We are.
It's very one-sided. Like, what is happening here?
But hold on. Let me just point this out. When I talk to women that are undergoing extreme levels of abuse, stress, anxiety, very often they talk like this.
Yeah, that's true.
In incomplete, fragmented sentences.
I'll give you that.
They leave out like 90% of the details.
That's like what our DM thread looks like.
Yeah. When I read something like this, I don't want to say it's a red flag. I have to keep digging because I know there's something else is going on that he's not saying.
Yeah.
And so that's why my instinct is she is under a lot of distress. And she can't articulate to me the virtues of her. Maybe she is like, I don't know. What I picture is like first season of White Lotus. I don't know if anybody watches that show.
I haven't seen it.
But the first season, there was this guy who was like this rich white guy. And this lady, she was like this journalist. Didn't come from money, but this guy came from money. He was literally the golden child. And then she was expected to just kind of like live her life, quit working.
As a trophy wife,
blow off your career, but she wanted to pursue journalism. And she's like, why? For what? We make enough money. You don't need to like lower yourself to this journalism bullshit. Like, who gives a fuck? Nobody cares. Nobody's going to read your stuff. And she was just totally marginalized by that side of the family. And this guy, for whatever reason, was more worried about the accommodations in the hotel not being up to par.
Pineapple suite.
Do it, Schnitzel.
What? The pineapple suite.
Oh yeah, I thought you said I have a point.
No, it
was totally the pineapple suite. He wanted the pineapple suite, but they had like these gorgeous accommodations anyway. And anyway, the point was that she was feeling attacked in multiple different ways. There was nothing inherently wrong with her, and her husband wasn't standing up for her. In any regard, he was a complete 100% mama's boy.
And the mom even came on their honeymoon.
Just invited herself on their honeymoon for just, it's just gonna be a couple of days. And then she proceeded like talk shit about her and her career and all this other stuff.
That's a big nope. Mom's not coming.
But if I were to like talk to her in the space of 5 minutes, she might have given me a paragraph such as this. And so, yeah, maybe she is like on her ass, no career, no education, no whatever. And whatever attacks are befallen her are warranted. Or maybe she's just under extreme anxiety and she cannot articulate what she wants to say, which is these people are attacking me for no reason. And my husband will not stand up for me in spite of all of the virtues that I have. That nobody else, I have to defend myself against all of these people, and the one person I've entrusted to do it refuses for whatever reason. That's the parallels that I'm drawing.
And honestly, like, I look at it as I don't care what it is. If it's something that hurts my feelings, my husband needs to be the one that stand up for me. Like, it doesn't matter what the point is about it. I want my husband to stand up for me if it's his family or anything like that, and I have an issue. So it's just making sure you're taking care of the other person's needs.
This lady is wild. I'm reading the comments of this post, and it's
never read the comments. Oh God. Okay. Well, maybe did she ever answer any of them?
I'm less interested in the comments because I feel like they're going to go negative against her. But I'll
sometimes
dive
the
in.
comments are where they spill their best beans.
This is happening. Like, he's been a counseling. I talked to mutual friends for advice in the marriage. He didn't like that. Then he decided to have emotional connection with others.
If you sort by like Q&A, you can find her comments.
That's the social media aspect right there.
Upper question. This is her.
Sort by Q&A.
Yeah. We went to couples therapy. That was a complete disaster. I went to a couple different therapy counselors. No real solution. They all just kept they all just keep treating him like I do to get him back. But it's not working. What do you mean by stand up for you? When I'm right and he knows it, he doesn't defend me. And believe me, I'm not perfect. I never claim to be. But when I'm minding my own business, I don't appreciate others trying to interfere with my business when not asked to. Not enough information. He says, what more would you like to know? I'm not perfect, but apologize for everything I do wrong and explain. And look, this girl, I don't want to go through these comments. It's going to be a waste of time.
Oh, hell. Wow.
Yeah. The worst thing to do is go through YouTube comments or Reddit comments and expect to find anything. Sometimes you find some gems, but more oftentimes it's just like people like shitting on her for no reason, having no context.
Well, mine are terrible, so I usually just go through and fight people in yours.
I know. Totally. Anyway.
I've learned to troll on Twitter, and that's become fun.
I have a Twitter. I don't use it.
No, it's just there so I can tag you and stuff.
Yeah.
I've learned, but it's been like, especially with the anti-Karen Reed group. Whoa, that's fun. That's a lot of fun.
That's a whole different ball of wax.
No, I'm just saying, like, trolling itself is fun.
I might have called the anti-Karen Reed group. I might have called one of the guys a little bitch. I'm not.
Ain't wrong.
He said, free Karen Reed is a grift. You know that, right? It's like, maybe you're just a little bitch.
Everybody thinks everything. If you don't like something, it's like, oh, it's a grift. No.
Yeah, shut up.
Yeah, seriously. Like, a grift has lost all meaning at this point. You want to know what a grift is? It's Casey Anthony. Okay? Anything other than that low standard is we're okay. As long as you care about what you're doing, it's not a grift, in my opinion. So
you know what? We're moving right along.
The grift now. Just embrace it. You know?
All right. This person, this one is a little bit more, well, not a lot more substance, but it's let's see what we got.
It's got dates or ages.
Sorry,
so
all I saw was I need sex in big capital letters, and I am going to tell you right now, I am feeling a little red coming into my face. I'm shy now.
Lauren, do not advertise yourself like that. Jesus. You do not need to.
I just, between this and you telling people I use Pornhub Premium, which I absolutely do not. Okay.
By the way, by the end of today's show, you have to tell people what you have subscribed to with the Pornhub money that you
your YouTube channel. I mean, oh my God. That's the only thing I subscribe to is Omar's YouTube channel. I don't know what he's talking about.
Schnitzel, I just want you to know that Lauren took up a donation so she could subscribe to Pornhub Premium.
You started that? I have no idea what you're talking about. All of a sudden, so he starts roasting me. He's like, you probably subscribe. I don't know exactly what you said. You said something like, you probably subscribed to Pornhub Premium or something. And then Teresa posts a link to my Venmo. She goes, for Pornhub Premium. And then all of a sudden I have $250 in my account. I'm like, what the hell is happening here?
Oh my God.
Yeah. What the fuck?
Which she's going to use on Pacer.
Venmo with like the note that says, get the premium.
I want to know how Omar knows about the premium.
I mean, I don't. I have no idea. I was just making a joke.
I can't even watch the free version. I just blush and close the screen. I'm just like, oh no.
Lauren would never watch porn. She has no porn search history whatsoever.
I wouldn't say that, but I would say that I feel a little bit bashful about it. So I'm not subscribing to Pornhub fucking Premium. All right. I'm a little.
How do you know about Pornhub Premium, Kelly?
I don't. I don't watch anything unless it's on YouTube. No.
So you've seen my tapes. Got it.
Yes, Lauren, I have. No.
Did you say my teats?
She's seen my tapes. You've all seen my teats. It's fine. You haven't, then you will later.
I can say pretty definitively I've not. So.
Oh, I've definitely seen Brad's teats.
If it's not YouTube, it's not enjoyable. So I do pay premium YouTube, though. Does that count?
No,
well, no, that's required. I cannot deal with the commercials, man.
I'm just asking.
I added Megan Fox to my Google family so she could leech off of my YouTube Premium subscription, and she goes, I'm hooked. I can't. I don't know what YouTube was behind the premium, and now I can't live without it.
Well, tell her just to check out Pornhub non-premium, and then she'll remember.
Oh God.
There's some people out there that are subscribers to 70s and 80s porn. It was the best.
I'm gonna pass on that.
Courtesy of the Crow.
When you gotta wait for the tracking bit to update, so you can get rid of the lines throughout.
How do you know about that, Brad?
I was on Zach's podcast today. You know Zach, right? You guys know Zach Peter?
Zach Peter, yes.
I was on Zach Peter's podcast. He starts talking about his sponsors at some point. I was like, okay, I'm going to tell you a story. I got one sponsorship offer since I started YouTube, and it was like a few months ago. And I don't know why they decided on me, but they, offered me some money to basically hawk dildos.
Oh, God.
Yeah, they wanted me to do like giveaways and stuff like that.
Was it Adam and Eve?
No.
Oh.
I don't know if they're still around.
Fleshlights?
That biblical anymore. No, it was like a female-owned some sort of company. I don't know, but they were like basically wanting me to do like giveaways and all this stuff, and they'll be like, "We'll pay you this much per video and stuff." And I was like, "I'm absolutely not fucking hawking dildos. I'm sorry, you couldn't pay me like a year's salary to hawk dildos. Like I don't have many standards.
Your follower count will go up if you do that. Come on.
I don't want that kind of following, Kelly. I'm very awkward. I don't want that kind of following. No. Okay.
Have you not gotten the spam emails like this one that I got? We are Amazon sellers. We now have the following products for you and your 10 fans to try, no charge.
Your 10 fans.
What?
If you're interested in any product, you can reply to me directly. Our products offer quality and innovation that would resonate perfectly with your audience on social media. The following products for this promotion, click the product name and see details below. Mouthwash, travel size, teeth whitening strips, sticky bra inserts 2.0.
Sticky bra inserts. What?
2-piece tank tops. Nipple covers, sticky bra inserts 1.0.
All of those could also be for teeth whitening if you think about it.
Could somebody explain to me what is a sticky bra insert?
I have no idea.
Pretend you don't wear them.
I think it's like a sticky bra. It's the sticky bra, like when you're wearing like backless.
So it's like strapless
and backless. Yeah. It's like,
is it so it doesn't fall out on accident when you're running or something?
So you can wear a dress like
a backless Omar. What are you talking
about? We used to call them chicken cutlets. You get your chicken cutlets out and stick them on because they're really sticky, and then they have like a clasp like in here, and they just hold you together.
Clasp? Mine just like I shouldn't.
Oh, it's not hot.
No, mine just like stick on. They just like.
And when you take them up there,
there's no clasping. No clasping involved.
You wear sticky nipple covers, Lauren?
Not anymore.
It literally looks like you have 2 pieces of raw chicken on your chest. So
okay, well, I don't know where you get your sticky bra things, but I never looked like I had a chicken on my chest. So I don't know.
We must be wearing the different brands then.
Yeah, give me the number for your guy, because damn.
Oh my God.
Well, I don't have to wear them now. I lost too much weight, so I don't have to worry about anything.
Well, I don't have that problem, so just hand me your sticky bras and I'll be fine.
Brad is wearing pasties on the next stream.
And he has to show them.
And he has to show them.
How do you know I'm not wearing them now?
Lift up your shirt then,
I need
bitch.
a break. I'm going to the bathroom. I'll be back.
Picture it didn't happen.
That's funny.
All right, let me read this so I could get.
We can actually get the story on the way.
All right, men. How do you know if you truly want a divorce? Don't love your spouse anymore. For context, I'm married for 4 years to a 27-year-old female. We live a good life, I would say. Debts are tiny. We don't struggle financially. We both have good jobs. And over the last 2 years, I would say I noticed we have faded. More so over the last 6 to 7 months. For context, as selfless as it sounds, to me, I need sex. She has not been one for it. Doe claimed after a conversation last year, it's emotional, and I was not there for her. I tried to change that and did things I usually don't do and things she said I was missing for months. Yet still, when I asked for sex, it wasn't given. This year, we have had sex 3 times in total. It's now Father's Day. I asked for a BJ. She said no. By the way, I made a list to make sure I wasn't being weird in how I was seeing it. It just adds to the fact I'm constantly rejected. She ended up giving me a hand job, but I'm not going to lie, during and after it just didn't feel right. I basically ran outside. I'm sitting here wishing I never even asked. I feel so self-conscious about it and extremely degraded by the fact I asked. I'm sitting here wondering if this is my life.
This poor guy is sitting there melting in post-nut clarity, like
or pre-nut clarity. He hasn't gotten any. If I still love her, why am I here? I feel happier alone these days, and I don't know what to do. Ask, well, answer, whatever. Too long, didn't read. I'm thinking of leaving my marriage. All right. Well, how would you all respond to this young man?
What
would you say, Brad? I'm so curious what you would say.
Well, if you're looking at this objectively, if you divorce after 4 years, you don't have to pay as much alimony, so you might as well get out while the getting's good.
Yeah, but that's not the source of his question. The source of his question is he feels constantly rejected. Sexless marriage. It's been a long time. He's feeling inadequate. How do you calm his concerns?
Well, one, I would say lower your expectations, and I would honestly say stop watching porn, because trying to make sure that you're not trying to place those expectations on your wife and fueling your desire for sexual need in trying to get it that way isn't healthy for your marriage. And trying to be there emotionally for your wife to help develop the things that she feels she needs. But what does she actually need? And she says she needs some kind of more emotional attachment in the marriage that's not there. So if she's feeling dejected from the marriage, if you're constantly watching porn and she's like, well, if he's just going to go do this, then I'm not going to feel like I meet up any of his expectations. I'm not going to want to do anything with you. So it's if you're going to try and
leave.
All right,
well, what if he doesn't want to watch porn? What if he just wants to have sex with his wife and she will not? Like, maybe he's not asking for anything acrobatic. Like, we don't have to, like, do all these crazy moves. He just wants to be intimate with his wife.
But not knowing what the emotional issue is, like,
yeah, maybe it could be like the other case, right?
That could be on my end, but that could be my self-image, the way I look at myself, the way that I've always looked at myself, and things like that, is the emotional state of it. And so the more that happens, the more you withdraw. And that could be what's happening with her. She's withdrawing because of how she looks. She feels she looks, and he wants more, but he can't give her what she wants until she has to focus on herself and fix it. Because I had to do that. But I have a husband that actually was like, supportive and how I felt about myself, and was helping me to fix whatever I needed to fix. He was supportive of me through all of it. So it's a difference. But the emotional state of it, I personally see her saying it's herself. She's having problems with herself, and he's not there for her.
What do you think, Ninja?
It also could be Pornhub, but I mean, we're just gonna go with whatever.
I think they need to just communicate, and it might even take going to therapy to have a safe space for them both to share that, and have a third party kind of help them navigate the situation, because there's something going on with her that we don't know about, and it seems like he doesn't know about. Maybe she doesn't even realize. So that's why I think therapy could be helpful, because it could help her kind of uncover maybe why she's not wanting to be intimate if she doesn't quite realize what it is herself.
Yeah, I mean, it's I mean, I don't know what the source of her
therapy
lack of desire is.
When I got divorced, my ex was like, we're not doing therapy. I don't want to do therapy. And so like, I feel like therapy is more accepted now in relationships than it used to be too. Mm-hmm. So like, you have to be willing to put that in. And if she needs help to talk to somebody, and he needs to talk to somebody, you do it separately and then you do it together. at the same time to build that relationship up.
Well, if they don't do that, then here's what's going to happen. He's going to constantly continue to get rejected. And he's either going
to come to your office.
Well, but before he does that, he's going to end up turning either to porn or other people. That's the next logical conclusion. It's really, the longer he continues to feel rejected in his own house, in spite of his best efforts, and I don't know if he's putting forth his best efforts, he's kind of self-representing here. I don't have her side of the story.
But if we take him at his word here,
take him at his word, then I guess he's just constantly getting rejected, and to no fault of his own, whatever. He knows that she has some kind of emotional detachment that he can't crack. He doesn't know how to do it. And the only way you're going to crack that is by more communication, whether that's through a therapist where results are going to be mixed or just by simply talking to her. I don't know. But she's 27. She's old enough to know better. She's old enough to know who she is. There's something going on. I don't know, man. I don't know how to answer this guy's question, but the longer that he fixates on sex and his rejection, the faster he's going to come to the realization that he resents and wants to divorce his wife. Or he could focus on trying to resolve it through communication in the hopes that maybe it gets fixed. And the reality is that he might even go down that road. He might say, yeah, let's go get whatever counselor. And maybe it'll work out, maybe it doesn't. The reality is there's a real good chance that it's not going to resolve itself. There's a real good chance that 5 years from now, it's going to be the exact same thing. Maybe a little better, maybe a little worse, maybe no sex at all. And I just talked to a couple today, this guy that told me that for 30 years, it's always been this constant attack on him. She always thinks that he's cheating on him. It's always about her. He's like, I'm 60 years old. I don't have any need for girlfriends or anything like that. I've never been, but for like the last 30 years, I feel like I'm always having to defend myself against her. She's always mad at me, and he's just trying to get through life. He goes, look, I go to work, I take care of the house, I do my thing, I do my construction, whatever. And they all just kind of sit there and wait. And then they had this conversation about, well, if you give me the house and this and that, then I'll just leave you alone and no more alimony. It was like a really sad story. Like he's literally just trying to if you believe him, he's just putting his head down and working hard. And when he feels rejected, when he feels angry at his wife, what does he do? He puts his head down and he goes to work, because that's one way, a real common one, that a lot of men deal with their sadness. You deal with sadness by working your ass off. That's how a lot of men know how to do it. There's no other outlet to that. Nobody wants to hear about how sad you are. Nobody wants to see you cry. Nobody wants to see you sitting on a couch and talking about your problems. When the first guy did it, Brad called him a little bitch. Granted, so did I, and so did the rest of us. I mean, obviously different context, but the point is,
say shit.
Sure did. The point is that this guy that I talked to earlier, his outlet was he does work around the house. Whenever he doesn't want to be in the house, he goes outside and does yard work. And it's gotten to the point where it's like built this like shed, built all of these different add-ons to the house. And he's been doing it for 30 years. And then it turns out that a wife has been like plotting to like take for herself certain assets from the home. And we figured that out through various different things. But hey, this guy sounds a lot like potentially that guy, but he's only 31. He sounds like a guy that just wants to be married to his wife, man. And whatever her emotional hangups, maybe they're legitimate, but maybe they're not. Could you imagine a world where she's got these legitimate? Well, could you imagine a world where she claims that she has these emotional hangups, but they are not legitimate? That's actually bullshit. Like maybe she's got like a side piece or something. Is that possible?
Sure.
There, dude.
Female at 27?
I mean, she's only 27.
She could be banging her office assistant and be like, "No, I'm not here for you."
He or she?
She could be banging her office assistant.
Well, maybe he is. What were you going to say, Schnitzel?
Whenever sex becomes an issue, it's obviously, in my experience, it's a cause of something else. It's like a symptom of something else going on. So I just think they need to get, if she's willing, or at least he needs to try to get to the bottom of what it is, whether it's him trying to help her open up with just the two of them or going to therapy so she can do it there. But if he doesn't get that back from her, there's only so much he can do. And then at that point, he needs to make a decision, if he's going to stay in this situation or try to have something else for himself in his life.
100% to that. He stays in this. He's going to wake up tomorrow.
I'm sorry,
he's gonna
the cat behind Kelly looked demonic for a second. The way the reflection. Look at that glowing eyes. And it scared the shit out of me.
It's funny.
Yeah, it's a hairless.
He's looking at you.
Red eyes. Ah! Anyways, what were you saying?
I forgot.
You're
what
muted
I was
there,
saying.
Kelly.
His eyes are actually a red color.
Oh, that's better.
His name is Winchester. I'm a little hooked on Supernatural. I have a dog named Crowley and a cat named Winchester. So,
Winchester the demon.
Well, their last names were Winchester, Sam and Dean. So that's why I have them. But yeah, I have 3 hairless cats if you want one. They think they're dogs.
I'm a little set, but thanks.
So look, I think that this guy, he sounds like the kind of guy that could stay in this situation for a really long time. Like he's never going to just leave his wife, which is sad for him. If she's got something else going on the side, she's not willing to communicate with him, like what is the source of her emotional strife. That's a red flag. Most women are very happy to talk about the reasons and the who, what, where, and why of their emotional dilemmas with their spouse when they're willing to listen. But if it's the case that he's going to her and she's just not communicating, the chances that she's got somebody else is pretty high. And like Schnitzel said, he's going to have to make some decision.
Like you're feeling this ashamed and guilty about like intimacy, then yeah, it's probably there's something else going on there. I don't know.
How would you diagnose this, Lauren?
I don't need to diagnose it. I've been in it. So
haven't we all?
Yeah.
One time or another. Anyway, that is my analysis of this guy and his situation. I think that his wife. Now, look, it might be they don't have kids, do they?
Doesn't say so.
Married for 4 years. She was 23. Maybe she's going through some kind of buyer's remorse. Maybe she's homesick. Maybe she's like looking at her guys like this is what it's going to be like for the next 20, 30, 40 years. This is what I got to look forward to. Maybe she's not sexually attracted to him. Maybe he's put on 40, 50 pounds.
And relationships wax and wanes too. It's not always going to be the same. You have to adjust to how your relationship is at that time.
But they're definitely in a danger zone where they're both reconsidering the merits of this relationship. And where they go from here largely depends on, the both of them really. But they're either going to talk about this or they're not. To the extent that she continues to be secretive about her emotional misgivings, that spells doom for the relationship, if that's what she's doing at all. But sex by itself, like Schnitzel said, it's a symptom. It's not the main issue. Right. There's something else going on, which I would agree with. And so to be honest, I'm not really big on marriage counseling. I'm not certain. Matter of fact, I have no idea whether or not it's effective or not.
I think it's only effective when you're sure that you want it to work out.
That's what I mean. Like
with any kind of therapy. Like if you're not
people,
you're like, I don't know if I want to stay in this marriage. It's probably not going to work out, man.
And you know what? To be fair, I know therapists that would say that.
Well, and if you've already said
I hope it's not Dr. Leslie.
If you've already said you want a divorce, you've already checked out. Like there's no.
There's no counseling that's going to get you to change your mind. Agreed. All I'm saying from observations, when I would say 9 out of 10 couples that come into my office to get a divorce, 9 out of 10 of them have been in some form of marriage counseling. It doesn't fix anything. It will help those that want to be helped. But too often, by the time you get to marriage counseling, one person is already checked out, and that's all it takes.
I feel like people have unrealistic expectations for marriage counseling as well. They're like, this person's going to tell us what our problems are and it'll be fine. Yeah. No, she's going to talk to you so that you can figure out what your problems are. And then you have to want to fix them. You can't just, she's not going to like go in there and be like, oh, well, you're cured now. Go be married again. You know, it's not going to work out like that.
One of my clients was a marriage counselor.
Interesting.
And they were going through a divorce. And this counselor, 100% committed copious amounts of infidelity against their spouse. And it was alleged in like the moving paper. It got really messy, but I was like, you are a marriage counselor? And so they're just people. You know, they get a degree and they're living their lives, but they're just people at the end of the day. They don't have any magic spells that's going to fix you. You know, they're very much human themselves.
As much as I hate to say it, it's true that like a lot of people who go into psych, go into counseling, they do that because they've had their own problems. They're like, I want to be somebody who helps other people with this stuff. So like they have their own issues. Yes. And sometimes, unfortunately, if you're not working with somebody who's like really, really good and like really good at what they do, you know, there's gonna be a little bit of personal stuff that goes into the session, and it's not gonna help sometimes. So
Khaleesi Direwolves, what a name, says, I can tell you what to do wrong.
Yeah, you and me both, dude. What?
Also, people who go to marriage counseling, if one person blames the other person, it's not going to work because they're expecting that counselor to take their side. You know what I mean? It's all about what that person did wrong as opposed to what you guys can do together to fix it. At least that was my experience.
You know, I've gone to counseling sessions and I figured for me, they were stupid.
I went, my ex and I, we did marriage counseling and we went together one time and then he stopped going and I was going by myself.
Yeah.
So, you know, when you're going by yourself and a marriage counselor, what does that do for you? Nothing. Your marriage is done.
Well, I'll tell you what, I went to individual counseling because like Schnitzel said, I was a man of the 80s and I grew up with certain dispositions. I was going to counseling trying to like soften myself up so I could have better communication with my daughters because I'm a girl dad, you know? And
your kids like worship you, by the way.
Oh, my daughters are adorable.
All they want to do is draw pictures of you. They love their dad.
Lauren was drawing pictures of dildos with my children.
No, I was drawing a unicorn. It was
Why would you draw a unicorn horn in the shape of a dildo? It was a horn.
The same shape, bro.
There is a point.
Pornhub when they were there, we're okay. All right.
Neither I nor your children thought it was a dildo. You and your wife.
I also did not think it was a dildo. I've seen.
It wasn't a dildo. She saw the picture.
Your conversations go just as well as mine and Amy's when I have our panels up. We never. This is hilarious.
And when I had my individualized counseling sessions, so I could soften myself up, so I could better communicate with my daughters.
Did they do that like ink blot test with you, where they say here's like a dark shape? What is it? And you said dildo when it was a horn, because I would believe that.
It was interesting. I got real combative with them. I would get angry with them every time. Like, tell me something about myself that I don't already know. What are you going to tell me? I didn't hug my mom enough. I didn't do this enough. I didn't do that enough.
You're going into this with the wrong mindset, dude.
I was just like, look, tell me about myself. Tell me how to fix myself,
bitch. That's not how that
works. What do you know about me?
It's not how that works. Was it a male or a female therapist?
It was there was a male. There was a male therapist. So I straight up said that I think that I don't like you at all.
I was about to say, if you were acting like that, I have a feeling you were seeing a male therapist.
Well, yeah, I think
it doesn't work for some. Like, I have to see a male therapist because I don't work well with female therapists. So like some people just like they were a little more defensive with one or the other, you know.
I don't know. I wasn't. Well, I guess I was more combative with the male one. With the female one, I was not that way. But she was more like, I don't know. I went through 3 of them where like I just settled. You know what? I don't think that I need counseling. I just think I need to stop being such a dick.
I mean, that probably works. It's fine.
You know, like maybe I could just be more empathetic towards my daughters and more emotionally available.
I mean, just for I don't know how long ago this was, but I don't think you have an empathy problem at all. So
I feel like that comes though as with being a dad. Like when your daughters are there, they're teaching you as you go too.
Yeah, it was years ago. It was probably like a decade ago or so. I don't know, 8 years ago, something like that. But yeah, for me,
well,
I don't even know how we got
what
into
you're
this
describing
conversation.
right now, whatever you're describing to me is like for the reason you go to therapy. I'm like, that doesn't track at all with what I know about you. So that doesn't, maybe it just didn't make sense.
Well, maybe
like
back
that,
then I was
you
a
don't
little
obviously you
angrier.
don't have a problem with these things that I'm seeing. Obviously, it's like the complete opposite. So maybe maybe you just didn't need help. I don't know.
Well, I think I was just trying to relate to my oldest daughter better, and like one of the things
I admire you for doing it to
Yeah.
strengthen your relationships.
I had to learn to talk to her like less, like a lawyer, like less like I'm trying to fix stuff, and like allow her room to be sad or angry and things
That
like that.
doesn't necessarily require therapy, just awareness, I guess.
Well, I did it anyway, so.
I mean, cool, man. I mean, you did kind of be a dick to the therapist, but hey,
I mean,
good job.
I figured they were well equipped.
He told him to tell him something about him he didn't know. He didn't do it, so he asked for it.
Yeah, tell me how to fix me, bitch.
Ooh, it's gonna be more than one session.
Well,
Lauren's got a notepad already done for you. She's
no, it's a diary.
Got me cracked.
Oh, it's a diary. Okay.
All right, we're gonna move on to these last two. I don't think that Amy's gonna make it.
She texted me and said that she was trying to get Caden to sleep and she didn't know if she would be able to. So.
Well, I'm gonna have to go try to get me to sleep, so I'll talk to you guys later.
Right,
I am way too baked for this. All right, bye.
No, you're
See ya.
You get some rest, young lady. All right. Well, we got a couple more. We've only been going for an hour and a half. We're making good time.
Nice.
All right, I got these. I'll put this next one up on the screen. We got a couple more to go, and then we'll be done pretty soon. So she says, so this one is for the ladies.
I'm still here. I'm just turning my camera off for a minute.
Oh, you don't have to explain to me. Just do what you got to do. But she says, all right, so she's 39. We went on a date for the first time in 4 years with the guy who's 38. The date went pretty well. I wouldn't say there was amazing chemistry, but I was going to go on a second date with him. But then I woke up this morning and he had spent an hour liking my Instagram photos, but only the ones of my legs, chest, body. What the fuck? It felt creepy and objectifying. I messaged him on Instagram. I told him this. He hasn't responded. I don't really want to go on a second date with him now. I don't know if I'm overreacting here. Well, oh boy. I know what I want to tell this lady, but I think I should let the girls go first. What do you think, Schnitzel?
I do think that's creepy.
Yeah.
And I probably would cancel the date.
Here's what I got to say about trying to date when you're older. I feel like men in their 20s try a lot harder to not be creepy. And I feel like as men get older, they just lose that ability, or like maybe they're just like, look, it's harder because they've probably been married and divorced, or maybe they've just had failed relationships. Maybe they've just gotten calloused to being rejected over and over and over. And they've learned in their 30s and 40s that they're not really interested in the emotional aspects of women. They're only interested in the objectifying portions of women. And so they are more bold and upfront with sexuality in a way that's fucking creepy. And so if you're going to dip into this dating pool, and there's nothing wrong with her doing it at 39, but, you know, I hear this a lot, like guys or girls that are in their 30s and their 40s, and then like they're getting out there and they're trying to date again. They're like flabbergasted because there's all these fucking creeps. Look, they're divorced for a reason. They're single for a reason. And, you know, there's baggage. You're very seldom going to find a guy that's that old and single without any of these issues, that's genuinely trying to date purposefully to get married. Most of the guys that are in this age range are trying to date because they just want to get laid. And they're not shy about letting it on to that. And there's nothing wrong with her tracking that. What the fuck? Liking all the pictures of my legs, my chest, my body, and like making her like she's some object on a Pornhub Premium or something.
I feel like he's the guy that people would pay for like pictures of people's feet.
Ew.
I'm not going to go that far.
I would.
And I'll say he can be doing something that's creepy.
100% that he's subscribing to people's OnlyFans.
I'll leave that to other people's taste. But it could be that this guy is going through her Instagram and he doesn't give a shit about the nature view of a walk that she went on. So he's not going to like that photo. But if she's going to take a selfie, then yeah, he's going to like that one.
Well, let me, I see that, and let me raise you one better. If you are genuinely interested in getting to know somebody and date a lady with the intention of dating them for a long time, then you would see that picture of a nature hike that she went on the same way that you did when you were 25. It's like, oh, she's into nature, and start planning like dates for like the mountains. You would take that like as a clue. The way to this lady's heart is through nature. Track that for later.
Certainly.
Or maybe I'll make her like a mushroom risotto with the wild mushrooms that I've picked from this forest, and I don't know, whatever hiking trail or something.
There, but that doesn't mean that he is going to go Instagram like the nature walk because he's not going to.
If that was your intention, why would you not do that?
I didn't say that was his intention, but I'm saying
exactly.
If I'm dating a woman and she's posting photos and she enjoys the positive responses that she gets from photos of selfies and things, people enjoy the compliments of, oh, you've got a nice smile, you've got all these nice things, and even just a simple like without commenting on every photo can come off as a compliment in some way.
I mean, and honestly, why does she have pictures of her legs, chest, and body up there? Like, if that's what she's trying to portray as a different portion of it, like, I don't post those pictures of myself.
Well, I'm not going to chastise her for that. Like, she can post whatever picture she wants.
There's like, those are things that I don't post for myself. So, but this is a first date. Like, they went on one date, and if that's the only thing he's liking, I feel like he's the feet guy. Like, that's what he wants. It's free OnlyFans.
I think the move is you don't need to be on anybody's social media liking any of their pictures. I don't think that's the move.
Yeah,
like, if you're interested in somebody, why don't you just talk to them?
It's just creepy. I mean, after a first date, that's all.
Like, there's something purposeful about liking those pictures. And I feel like if he was really interested in her and carrying on like a long-term relationship, he wouldn't be liking pictures on social media. I feel like that's what everybody else does that doesn't know her. He's got an inroads with her. He's met her in person. Like, they went on this date or whatever. Apparently it must have went at least decent enough. So then text her, like, have a conversation back and forth, try to build chemistry, try to build a relationship, try to build some rapport. But liking pictures like she's like something on Pornhub, that's, I feel like, not the move. Now he's made his intentions clear. I think that this lady's instincts are correct not to go on a second date with him.
I agree totally, but I also agree that when it comes to social media now, people, when you're dating at that age, people are going to check out your social media to see what kind of person you are, to see what kind of likes you have, what dislikes you have, like you said earlier. Like, if she likes you going through trails and going, hiking and stuff like that. As opposed, it's a way that people get to know other people. But I also don't think sitting there liking everybody's pictures or every picture they have, and you know what I mean, like that's creepy. That becomes like, okay, now I know you're stalking my Instagram.
Hey Brad, would you like my pictures on Instagram?
I always like your photos. I am your top follower on Instagram.
Would you like my leg pictures that I have up on Instagram?
Those are only for
my body pictures. I don't have anything like that. I'm just saying.
I was like, I didn't see those. Where were those?
No, I'm just saying. Like,
if that's the case, I have a couple girls that have asked about that.
You got to subscribe to his Only Ties.
Oh, Only Ties. Okay.
I don't know, Schnitzel. Am I off?
No, I actually agree with you. Surprisingly.
So you wouldn't give this guy a second date if it was like
I would not. And I guess it also depends on what the tone of the first date was. Was she being super flirtatious, or was she acting like I'm not saying you can't be flirtatious look for a long-term person, but like how was she on the date? Was there anything that maybe she did that would make him think that she might like the fact that he liked them? But my feelings, and especially based on her gut feeling, she felt that the date went away that would not warrant him going on there and liking all that stuff. So
yeah, it's just
and
weird,
if you
man.
start to see red flags already, like that should tell you to stop.
Trust me, do not ignore them.
Red flags are there for a reason.
Yeah.
Bright red, just like my hair, to say stop doing it.
I don't know, if you're a young man out there and you're trying to figure out like how to talk to girls and how to like build a relationship with girls, I think that the best advice I could give you is to not like the social media pictures of the girl that you're interested in, like everybody else is doing. And if you're gonna do that, like them all, not just like the ones where she, whatever your opinion, maybe she's sexually objectifying herself or not. Just don't like certain ones that might be construed that way. Like find something specific that you could build something with, not the objectified pictures, I guess. And don't send her dick pics.
Lacey Dyer,
for the love of God.
For the love of God, those away from anybody.
Younger me would have done this. Older me knows better. So
well, this guy's like 38, so he should know. He's old enough to know better than, right?
Well, and he's also at that age. I feel like they're stuck in their ways. Everyone.
Yeah. Well, that's what I'm getting at. Like, there's a reason why they're single. There's a reason why they're going. Look, either hey, failed marriage, whatever, or yeah, maybe he's genuinely a creep. There's a lot of creeps in their 30s and 40s, 50s, 60s that are still on the dating market, and you got to kind of navigate through all of those. There's a lot of creepy ass ladies out there too. It's not unique to men.
No, it's not.
I'm just saying.
Yeah.
This guy's he has let it be known that he's a creep, and there's not really much that I could do to redeem him if what he's doing is going and liking all of her objectified pictures and nothing more. That's kind of that's kind of dumb. That's a bad move. If his goal was like to try to get a second date, maybe he thought he already had it in the bag. I don't know. And that's another thing that guys do. Like, guys will like think that women have signaled that they're into like some kind of further sexual advance, and they misinterpret it as that way, and then they creepily go about it and try to like advance it, and it just doesn't make any sense. Like, that happens too. But when it's like this early in the relationship, there's no reason to err on that side of things. Let things happen naturally, and if they're going to happen at all, let it happen in person. Stay off the internet if you're interested in that young lady.
I believe social media has it has another aspect of people's lives now. It's something that everybody's a part of. It's going to be there, but you don't go creeping on people's pages and liking them because they can see the notifications. Okay, they can see them. If you're looking at it, just look at it. Don't let them know you're looking at it.
I can't tell you how many guys like in their 40s and up have no idea. You can see that they've watched your stories.
Oh yeah. I mean, or even they like it. They have no
that's funny, Omar.
Yeah.
It's a boomer age where they have no idea that they have like people can see you like their pictures, like they get a comment.
Well, first of all, stories. Okay, I watch stories. I did not know that there was like a whole notification thing where you could watch stories, and they just start like you click on it, it goes on to the next one. I didn't know that there was like a whole notification. Hey, you could tell who watched your stories. Like, what is that shit about? But I feel like that's not the same category of what we're talking about.
No, but
does it make me a boomer for not knowing that? Maybe,
yeah. I mean, I'm older than you, so I'm the one that's a boomer here, not you.
No, I'm not a boomer. I'm a
Gen X, but
wait a minute. Well, I'm like on the border of Gen X and millennial. I'm literally like both. Yeah. I'm either Gen X or millennial.
More of a Gen X.
Yeah.
Gen Xer.
Yeah.
You're
all I'm saying is, if you post stories on Instagram and I happen to scroll through them and you got a notification because I watched your stories and I don't know what to tell you. Oh, well. I mean, it happens.
I'm fine with people watching my stories, but like if they're gonna go and like in pictures that I'm
pictures are different. Pictures is like really yeah.
Like that's a whole different story. So for them, like, yeah, like stalk me without letting me know you're stalking me.
Exactly.
I was going to start posting stories so I could figure out who's stalking me. I don't even know how to post stories. I thought I was posting stories. I didn't. I just made like an Instagram post like, oh, well, I guess that's not a story then.
Noodles, stop it. No nudes, Noodles. There's no nudes for you.
Who wants nudes? Who wants noodles?
Noodles mama. She's one of our peeps. She said early up in the higher chat, she said, Kelly, red flags, red hair, beware. And then I said nudes, no nudes, because Proctor and his no nudes yet, text. And so
somebody's accusing Brad of sending dick pics.
Brad, already? Can't wait till we get off the air. Come on. And then she responded back, Kelly, I have no nudes for you to stop sending. Ask red hair, red flag, stop sign.
Well,
so she's making fun of me. But I got her back one time because I said no nudes in Turtle Boy's chat, and he picked it up thinking it was about something for him, and people were asking her to send pics afterwards. And I was like,
they were asking for what pics?
Or messaging her asking for pics.
Who was?
Like, why would people do that? Your name is Noodles. I do like to get stalked, but only by people like you, nudes. I mean, because I'll say it. We say it because of the whole Proctor thing. So we'll be like,
can we just get to the what is a boomer? Like, boomer would be like born in 64 and prior.
I think people just use it now for anybody like that's older that doesn't know. It's not like
crazy kids,
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, do you guys have anything else to say to this young man or this young lady that has gone on a wayward date with this creepy guy?
If the red flags are flying, don't
believe them.
Yep.
Words of wisdom.
Agreed.
I think we lost Brad for a little bit. We'll be back. All right, let's get into this one. This is the last one. All right, so how do I'm 27, tell my friend that he'll never date an influencer-like girl? The hell does that mean?
Somebody on a TikTok that's doing their own content has lots of followers.
Oh, what is this shit, man? All right, I'm reading this at my own peril.
Hi, everyone. This take a turn for any direction. I'm just telling you.
I don't read these ahead of time. I just read them on the show. So we'll see where this goes. This is a sensitive topic. I want to approach it as respectfully and compassionately as possible. I have a friend whom I've known since our freshman year of college. He's never really dated, at least not that I'm aware of, and he never seemed particularly interested in pursuing anyone seriously. He'd occasionally mention girls, but it was always in a vague or surface level way. 2 years ago, I broke up with my long-term girlfriend and re-entered the dating world. That's been a whole journey of its own, but that's another story. Since then, he started talking more about dating and women. I think he now feels like we're in the same boat, and honestly, I'm glad he's opening up more. Here's where I'm struggling. My friend is an amazing person. Funny, smart, thoughtful, great cook, has a solid job. But on a purely superficial level, he's not conventionally attractive. How the fuck does this guy know? Some people might even consider him ugly. When we were younger, that kind of thing might have mattered more, but now that I'm dating again, I've realized how much broader and more complex attraction can be at our age. Oh, is that what you realize, this guy's who the fuck is this guy? He's 27. There are so many different kinds of beauty, and what I find attractive has definitely evolved since 18. Unfortunately, my friend doesn't seem to see it that way. He only seems interested in women who look like Instagram influencers, very stereotypically hot. And being brutally honest, those types of women are typically looking for guys who match their aesthetic. And he just doesn't fit that mold. It's starting to really hurt his self-esteem. Not dating is making him feel like he's worthless. I've tried to gently steer him towards more realistic and fulfilling possibilities. For example, a friend of a friend often compliments his cooking. I suggested he ask her over for a homemade dinner sometime, and his response was, "She's ugly." That really bothered me. And at our age, I feel like we should be past this superficial mindset and actually see people for who they are. I don't want to shame him. I don't want to be cruel. But I also don't want to sit back and watch him spiral because he's chasing an ideal that isn't going to happen. He's not going to date or hook up with a supermodel type woman. And that's the reality. And it's okay. There's someone out there for him, someone who will love him for who he is. But he's blocking those possibilities because of his narrow idea of what's attractive. How can I talk to him about this without sounding condescending or mean? I want to help him see his own worth about reinforcing unrealistic standards. Any advice would be appreciated. I'm willing to venture that this guy is the actual guy, not the guy's friend.
Yeah.
A little too invested.
I also feel like if it were the friend, we'll just say it's the friend. If it were the friend, what is her right to say who he finds attractive and who he doesn't? Because you have to have that chemistry there in finding somebody attractive. And if it's an influencer person, who's to say that influencer person is not going to date someone of way he looks? So I just feel like she's not giving him the benefit of the doubt to figure out what he wants in a partner and by dating around or visiting.
Well,
he could be one that wants, but he can't, like 10s, 12s, the unicorns you can't touch.
Says who?
I'm just saying that he could. You have seen, we watched one the other day and it was talking about it's the hot matrix. Have you seen that?
No.
I cited the crazy hot matrix.
Yes, you did. We watched that whole video.
Oh, that's what you're talking. The Brad's thing, his chart. Okay, yes.
Like,
I know
I'm
what the hot matrix
about,
is.
Like where you stay and the number, like stuff like that. Like that's what I think about it. So
okay. Well, if this guy were my son, this is what I would tell him. If you want to take a shot with the 10s, the supermodel types, then you take your shots in person. You'll have a way better success rate in person than trying to get her attention in social media, DMs, whatever, like everybody else. Look, the thing about 9s and 10s and super ultra attractive people is they're not used to being approached like that in a very genuine, in-person kind of a way. And so the fact that you're even have the balls to sack up and take your shot, and not in a jokey way, like in a genuine, trying to build a relationship kind of way, trying to build rapport, trying to make her laugh, trying to, make something happen out of nothing. Look, you might strike out, or you might get yourself a date with her. And then you have a full-on, whole night interview to try to prove yourself to this young lady. There's people that are matched up with, on the attractiveness scale, they're like this, on Brad's scale, there's mismatches out there. And there's mismatches for lots of different reasons. It could be money. It could be some girls are really attracted to unconventionally attractive, funny people. Sense of humor, intelligence.
My husband for his money, but he won't give it to me.
There you go. The joke was on you.
Somewhere. I'm like, give me the money. You told me you had it. So
yeah. Look, man, you don't. Here's the thing. You cannot. If you objectify 9s and 10s that way, as if they're so untouchable. You could only talk to them in DMs, and you don't have the balls to go up to them and say hello and introduce yourself, shake their hand firmly, and make your presence known.
But I also don't think it's her right to be brutally honest of what type of women he wants to date.
Well, this guy is they're guys. There's no female in this post. This is
I thought
no.
I suspect it's one person, but I have a friend and they're both males, right? They're 27.
Yeah.
Okay.
But Brad, you were going to say something.
The thing about this is this guy needs to understand if he's going to chase the 0.1% of women that meet his physical standards, he's got to remember that they literally have every option available to them in the world. So there are people out in the world who bag the women and you're like, how did that guy get that girl?
Because he asked.
You have no idea what gets it. It happens, but it happens so infrequently. You're turning that 0.1% chance into even 0.001 of a chance. So you're going to have to learn that your opportunity is going to be based on that percentage. Well, and you're going to get rejected a lot because of your preference on you women.
Well, let me tell you something about 9s and 10s. They got their own demons, man. Like, dating them is not the prize. Like, they got their own issues that are unrelated to attractiveness, that you would quake in their presence. If I had a son and he was out in this dating market, what I would tell him is, look, talk to everybody. Talk to the 3s, the 5s, the 7s, the 9s, the 10s. You don't ever know what you're going to be attracted to. You're going to build a friendship with some person. Best way to foster a relationship with somebody is to be friends with them. You know, you approach everybody. The biggest impediment to people meeting others is their inability to overcome their fears of speaking to people that they don't know. That's a very real fear that everybody has. Imagine, like, most females have no idea what it's like to approach a man because they don't normally have to.
Right.
Men, if you don't learn this skill very early on, like when you're 5, 10, 15, 20, if you don't hone that skill, then you're going to be at a disadvantage as you get older. And what's the worst thing that's going to happen? Like, I tell the story very often about how I was like a freshman. I went after like the senior prom queen, you know, like the most beautiful girl in the school. And it was like this little baby dipshit 14-year-old. I didn't know. I genuinely thought she was going to say yes when I asked her out. And she turned me down like stone cold. And it was, you know, it was a lesson. Like, you don't just, like, not everybody's going to say yes to you. But does that deter you? Does that mean that you stop talking to people? No. You keep on building yourself up. You keep on building up your courage. You keep on building up your social skills. And you keep on facing your fears. When people are afraid to talk to somebody, biologically, I had a professor tell me this, like, evolutionary, what you're actually afraid of is you literally think that you're going to die. You're not going to die. You're going to talk to somebody that maybe they think you're weird, or you're going to talk to someone and they're going to laugh at a stupid joke that you told, or you're going to relate to them in some kind of a way, some kind of shared experience. You never know what's going to happen when you indulge humanity free of the burden of like these stupid fears that you have, these superficial fears of, oh, I can't talk to this person that looks like whoever your A-list celebrity crush is because they're way too pretty for me. Says who? What do they look like when they wake up in the morning? They don't look like that. Or maybe they do. Maybe they're just like genuine. But then then their issue is like nobody has the courage to go up and talk to them. And you're the one that had the balls to sit up and strike up a conversation. And so now they're enamored with you because of a million different reasons, have nothing to do with your physical attractiveness. It's like a spark. You've sparked something in their brain that they've latched onto, and it creates these connections. And you either foster it through time together and, you know, keep continuously taking your shots, or you don't. Or you let it go because you think that they're way out of your league, and how could they ever possibly lower themselves to date somebody like me? If you think that way, then yeah, it sucks. Because then I keep on seeing the word incel in here. I feel like a lot of incels are like that. They objectify women such that they will only talk to 9s or 10s, and they won't ever talk to them in person. And when they do, it's super awkward, and they're so ready to come back with some sharp insult because they're ready to be rejected, and they don't know the meaning of what it is to build relationships with people because they haven't exercised that skill. And so for a young man like this, I hardly think that he's just going after 10s. I think that's a symptom of this insulated safety net that he's created for himself. His inability to talk with people of the opposite sex because of fear of rejection. And so he only goes after the 10s because he knows he's going to get rejected. And so he doesn't have his hopes up. In other words, he's not going after a 3, like expecting her to say yes. And then when she says no, he's completely devastated. It's like, how is that one going to say no? So he only goes after the 10s because there's safety in knowing that you're going to get rejected and having it actually happen versus somebody that you thought you had it in the bag. Turns out you didn't because you're fucking weird. Because you're only liking her sexually objectified pictures.
You know, each person's 10 is different. What I think is a 10 is not what Ninja thinks is a 10. You know, it's not the same. It's you have a different category of how you look at somebody. So he's sitting there saying, you know, and I keep reading it over and over because I'm just shocked that he would put this, but says, but on a purely superficial level, he's not conveniently attractive. And some people might even consider him ugly. Who's to say that person is going to consider him ugly? Because everybody's attracted to something different. Like Mildly said, was it Mildly or one of the people in the chat?
Mildly curious, I think.
No, I think it was Jackie said it. She once fell in love with a guy because of his Adam's apple. Like there's certain random things that you fall in love with, and it's not the same for everybody. Everybody's different. We all have different views and what we like. So I can't agree with what he's saying of he might be considered ugly, and then the girl he thinks she's ugly, and everyone's different.
Yeah.
I've never heard of someone falling in love with someone because of their Adam's apple.
Well, you heard it here first, Brad.
Maybe
you should get to the gym and start doing Adam's apple exercise. Well, actually, you're a married man. You don't need to do anything. How about that? What do you think about all this, Schnitzel?
Calf muscles, Brad, if that helps. I love when he's working on cars and I can see his calf muscles, and I'm like, that's so.
Sometimes it's all about the calves.
Mm-hmm.
I used to be super into biceps when I was younger. Like no other muscle group mattered. It was like the bicep. And then my ex had his nose. I just loved his nose. It was like a flat bridge, like the flat bridge. And like, it was just something about it that I just always like would see his nose and say like, I fucking love his nose.
Like, I mean, when it comes to physical appearance, everybody, you know, there's weird different things. But for me, the best thing I can equate it to is sometimes there's somebody who is not attractive, but then they open their mouths and you're like, right, she just said it. Mildly just said it. Nerds are a major turn on. I'm sorry. Bob Alessi is not the most handsome man that out there, but as a lawyer gets up there and starts talking and starts arguing, my mouth drops open and I'm like, I'm in love. Where did he go?
Not Greg Leslie, Greg Woodnick.
No, not him. No.
Oh, well, he's mine.
Okay. But yeah, I mean, for me, it's like when I hear Bob Alessi go and talking and all this brain stuff comes out of his mouth, like he's so smart and knows so much stuff that I'm just like in awe, and I'm going, it's like the angels sing. You're like, oh, because it's not most handsome to look at, but man, keep talking.
Like you want to fuck their brain.
Yeah.
Not their.
Not really do that, but.
Well, yeah.
But
well, as much as you can. Noodle's mom says, as long as he has a wee-wee, I'm content.
Nothing bigger than your elbow in your ear. Jeez, you weird people.
It's just that's what you're trying. That like trumps the physical.
Now, Alessi, I will say, Alessi, that man is built. He works out. If you guys saw him without a suit on, you like in a t-shirt, and you see his muscles, you would be shocked how he's a fighter. He's a boxer. The fact that he has those muscles, but like she's saying, Noodles is saying, I can't believe that came out of your mouth. Alessi is the sexiest man alive. Like when he talks, we all listen, and it's weird.
I guess the lesson there is just be passionate about something and work on yourself. Don't be so fixated on the opposite sex and what they offer that you can't attain. Like you never know what people are attracted to when you're simply passionate about things. Like people are attracted to passion. They can be attracted to, like somebody said, nerds, like the things that they say, their academic, whatever, bullshit.
Their voice.
Their charisma. Their voice. Their nose. There's nose writers in the. Chris said nose writers. Sarah Dawn
yes, I am nerd.
Just saying, you never know what you're going to be attracted to, man. Like, I've dated like the full gamut of different types of people, and I know all of you probably have too. Like, it's just that you get attracted to different people for different reasons, and so if you're so fixated on one of like 23 different factors of attractiveness being physical appearance, then you're missing out on like so many things. That you're missing out on the universe. You're missing out on I don't know, humanity. You objectify people like that, and you miss out on the humanity that might have attracted you to all these other folks. I don't know. It just seems counterproductive to try to continue to go after these tans.
None of my friends' business. I don't want my friends telling me who I can date, who I'm attracted to.
Well, I suspect that these two 27-year-old males are the same person.
But it could be a guy may just need a reality check, and his friend might just be like, "Look, dude, you need to kill it with the Instagram models for a bit here, because you're only going to be hurting yourself."
I've never given a shit about my friends this much about their dating habits to write a Reddit post for random folks to answer.
Exactly.
For one. And for two, if my friend was literally in that situation, I'd tell him, you know what? Why don't you just go get yourself a slump buster? Sometimes, sometimes
just
find yourself.
Just go for it. You
I'm
miss
the
100% of the
hype
shots you
woman.
take.
That's how I agree with you, Central. I am a hype woman. If that's what you want, you go for it. And I'm right here cheering you on.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I will be your hype girl.
Definitely.
I would not be this guy's wingman.
Well, you're their friend, so you want to make sure that.
Nah.
To me, I'm the type of person I want my friends.
I'd be Brad's wingman.
Well, no, I'm not talking about being a wingman. See, I wouldn't be their wingman. I could be their hype. I just want to hype them up. Like, go for it. Go on that date. Go out to that club. Go see.
But you know what's funny about the hype man thing? It's like the movie Dumb and Dumber, 1994.
Yeah.
It might be before.
You were in it, right?
Totally. But it had Jim Carrey. It had Jeff Daniels in it. But like, there's this whole scene where like he tells, "Hey, go put in a good word for this lady for me." He's like, "Okay." And so he goes to hype him up. And because he was the one that goes and talks to this lady, he ends up on a date with her. Mm-hmm. Like the very next day. Like, that's the story. If you're attracted to people, if like you want things to happen, you go make them happen. Go
That's what we're saying. We're like hyping them up. Like, go make it happen.
But there's one thing about being a hype man, but then there's the other thing of recognizing that there might be a problem and like trying to get some reality into them too.
But is it your job to?
Nope.
As a friend, you want to look out for the better interests of your friend.
I don't give a shit about
they need to learn it through the failure.
Yeah, Brad. Yeah. Go tell them not to jump off a cliff. But if they want to date a woman,
a hot girl,
let them go for it. I mean, what's going to happen? They're going to get hurt. That's about
it. Right. But if I'm sitting here listening to this guy telling me every night that he's so lonely and he can't find a woman that meets his standards, it's like, all right, man. Your standards are so high. You've been talking about not having someone for the past 3 years. You need to lower your standards so that you can actually find someone, because I'm sick and tired of hearing of you saying this bullshit about needing the Instagram model for a girlfriend.
No, I mean,
I'm just picturing this scene.
I think Brad would take him to a strip club.
No, he won't.
Brad would take him, buy him a lap dance.
I've only been in a strip club
last night.
Times.
I've never been.
He went there a few months ago.
Never ever.
What are you talking about?
Even your brother says I'm right.
Oh, right about what?
Telling him, giving him constructive criticism.
Yeah.
I agree with that. As a friend, you can do that after a while, but also you have there's a point you have to stop and just let them do it themselves too.
Right.
I guess I'm not really taking it seriously because I don't believe that these are two friends. I just believe it's one person.
You think they're doing it for themselves?
Yeah, I literally think that for whatever reason, this guy like wrote this for himself, but he framed it as like he's the friend helping out his best friend or something.
That would be
doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, like if you're gonna post on Reddit, just tell the story. Don't create a whole friendship to try and frame it.
Well, I mean, he's like, my friend is an amazing person. He's funny, he's smart, he's thoughtful, a great cook, and he has a solid job. But he's not good looking. What makes you who are you to say? Are you going to sleep with him? No, it's somebody else that he's going to be attracted to. So that's where
when I look in the mirror, I say, damn, I'd sleep with me.
Every day. And he does. Every night, 10 p.m.
I think, God, I fucking look fat today. Let's go have a great day. See if
what I say in my head versus what I actually say.
Oh.
I'm with Snitzel. I mean, I open a mirror. You look at a mirror, and I'm like, why are my clothes fitting that way? Like, what the hell is
And I
wrong?
know we're not supposed to think that, but
No, look in the mirror. Like, I'm ugly as fuck. Jesus.
Oh, stop it.
So ugly it breaks. It's just like I don't want to.
I don't even want to go to court today. Everything sucks. I don't want to put on a suit. Fuck this. I'm too ugly. Appear via Zoom. Turn off my camera. Just tell them it's
Why
broken.
do you sound like me? Don't talk like me. That's not nice. Are you trying to be me? What's up?
No.
Like, no, but I feel that. Like, I feel that where like nothing is working and the whole day just sucks. It's like
I'll tell you what. During the Karen retrial, I got a crush on Mr. Alan Jackson. That guy gave a closing argument. Not really, but if I could see, it's like, God damn it, that belongs like in the movies, man. That closing argument, I swear to God.
That's probably my top favorite argument I've ever heard of court.
It's easily the top 3 closing arguments over the last 30 years. And maybe the top of this century. I can't think. There's Johnny Cochran. There's Jackson. I can't think of who
doesn't
this
fit.
third
You
would be.
must acquit. Did I tell you my story about that? I think I did early on when I was little.
Quit.
Yeah, I thought it was you musta quit, like you must have quit.
Mm-hmm.
And I did because I
You
didn't
did
know what the
mention
word
this.
acquit
You said
meant.
this story. Yeah.
If it doesn't fit, you must acquit. And I was
And
like,
you
quit
must
what?
quit, bitch.
Murdering them? Like, what did he quit?
But yeah, but we had my 9-year-old running around when he was little saying, "If it doesn't fit, you must have quit."
Whenever I hear Johnny Cochran, I just think of the South Park interpretation of the Chewbacca defense.
Do it.
Do it.
The Chewbacca defense?
I've never seen it.
Oh, geez. I don't even remember the full scene
And I'm
entirely.
like a South Park fan. When was there a Chewbacca defense?
It was the boys had to defend themselves in something, so they brought in Johnny Cochran, and he goes, "This is a 6-foot tall Wookiee, and he's running around with this guy, and it does not make sense. And if this case does not make sense, then you have to quit." It's like, wait, what the fuck?
Well, at least he wasn't. Hank told him they didn't even have a case.
Well, because they didn't, but that and
It's true.
the jurors even said they didn't have any case.
Yeah, there's 3 jurors that have come out so far. But yeah, I mean, he literally said, "We don't know when it happened. We don't know how it happened. We don't know what time it happened." But I'm like, really? Did you just say that? Like, how can you say that at your closing argument? Because I would have looked at you and say, "Why am I here?"
Oh, you know what attorney gave me a little tingle?
What?
The Dep v. Heard. Who was that? Camila Vasquez.
Oh,
yeah.
she
cross-exam.
Isn't it Camille?
Camille Vasquez.
Maybe it's Camila Vasquez. Yeah, that was on point. One of the best cross-exams I've ever witnessed on live television. That was
never heard by the hair.
But Miss Heard. I'm thinking Camille Vasquez, but all I could hear is Deandra in my head.
I was gonna say Deandra gave Camille vibes.
Oh yeah, for sure, for sure.
No, she had her cadence down for sure. It was good, but Camille Vasquez, it's just a touch above, just a little bit, just a little bit. That's all. Anyway,
there's an entire Wikipedia article about the Chewbacca defense. So,
you guys remember the song Kyle's Mom?
Oh yeah,
the song Kyle's Mom.
Yes.
Yeah, do it. Sing it for us, Schnitzel.
No, I was gonna say we should change the words to Donald Trump.
Yeah, no, I'm for that. Kelly, me and Brad have been trying to we're supposed to have a debate, not even a debate, just a discussion, a talk.
Yeah.
We've been putting it off for like 2 weeks now. And then those 2 weeks, like more and more shit keeps on happening. I don't know what side of the aisle you fall under, red or blue, but Bruce.
He has animals, so I'm gonna guess blue.
I'm guessing blue.
I'm purple, honestly.
I was purple, but now I'm blue. I'm blue now because
I don't go for any side per se. I go for whose argument I believe the most and who's going to who can convince me and what I feel we need to happen. So
I've been saying that since I don't know. I've been saying that for years, but I'm all the way blue now because they need people on the front lines.
I mean, you have my brother My brother was blue. He was completely blue, and my brother has completely flipped to red all of a sudden. And I'm like, who are you? What are you doing with my brother? But it's, but I also stay out of the conversations a lot of the time because my anxiety gets too high when it comes
I don't blame you for that. But me and Brad are not the stay out of conversations types.
Oh, I'll listen to other people talk.
Me and him go at it. In
I'll watch you guys all day long. I just don't like when it comes to talking about it. I don't. It's hard for me. Like I don't even talk about it with my husband because I can't with my anxiety.
Yeah, I don't blame you for that.
And I think COVID ruined a lot of it for me because I used to love politics. So
I think it's lit more of a fire under my ass.
Yeah. It's lit enough of a fire under my ass to convert all the way to blue where I've never been blue. But I am now because it's kind of a waste to be purple nowadays. The way that I don't have the luxury to be purple.
One day. I mean, I still vote, but I like being able to say that I can vote for whatever side I want to. And I don't tell anybody who I vote for, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, like, I remember I came home and my son was like, Mom, who'd you vote? My 9-year-old. Who'd you vote for? I'm like, I'm not telling you who I voted for. Why would I tell you who I voted for? I won't tell anybody.
My mom called me a retard because I voted for Kamala. She said, "You're a simple-minded retard."
Oh.
Well, maybe it's the other way around. No offense, but
I'm just like, wow. I love your mother already just because she's so feisty.
No, I didn't mind it. I've never been soft-skinned. So I took it in jest.
Yeah. But yeah, you guys have that debate. I'm all here. I'll even
maybe we'll do it on Monday. Maybe what do you think, Brad? Monday?
Right here and tell you the questions.
Let's see. Do I have anything going on Monday? I think I'm free.
We'll text. We'll talk about it. It'll be sometime next week. But we're gonna do it. And there's a lot more to talk about than when we first originated this discussion. But anyway, folks, we got to get going.
On that note,
yeah.
Thanks for having me up. I had a blast.
Oh well, thanks for coming on. Tell Amy that next time. Hopefully she'll make it in.
Next time we'll plan it for where she'll have Caden down earlier and
yeah,
because when you text me, we were just finishing ours and we finished early today. So anyway,
I saw you guys streaming. I think you guys were going to say yes because you guys were live yourselves. Like, invitation whenever you guys want.
Well,
if you have some time.
I tried to do the end Karen Reed show yesterday, and then Juror started talking. So
yeah,
Yannetti and Alessi are on Runkle tonight. So I'm going to go watch Runkle after I leave here so I can watch that interview.
I still got to do my wrap-up show on the Karen Reed trial. Maybe that's coming on Monday or so. We'll see.
I actually saw someone in a comment about you on Reddit the other day about how you had said something about talk about the Karen Reed trial. And I was like, oh, look at that.
What did I say about the Karen Reed trial?
I know it was something. Oh, it was about a note being passed to the judge by the jury.
Oh, was that when I was talking to Rachel? Me and Rachel have been talking about the
the
Karen Reed trial.
I mean, I didn't see or hear about it, but I just know that it was on Reddit one day, and I was like, look at Omar getting all up in the Karen Reed case now.
Well, I mean, I haven't been into it as much as you guys have, but
Well, it's because with true crimers like us, me and Amy, who, well, I guess more so, not just much true crime, but we are court junkies. Like we love watching court cases.
Yeah.
So, that's how I met Amy is through YouTube. I didn't know I could make friends through YouTube and.
Oh yeah, we made a whole host of friends. Like everybody on the panel I've met through YouTube.
Yeah. And
including Lauren, including like a bunch of people. Bruce ain't even in here.
It's crazy because when I started watching YouTube, I was on TikTok and I got sick of it. I got sick of the drama and everybody doing stuff. So I kind of just stayed in the background of people's chats on YouTube. And that's how when I started watching trials, and I've been watching trials. I watched Johnny Depp trial. I watched all that stuff on occasion. But like when I really, really got into it, and then the Karen Reed stuff hit. And so Amy and I was already watching all the pretrial motions for the first trial. So I got addicted to that. And then
you all did great work for a really long time, and your channel's growing. I think the first time I met you guys had like 700 subscribers. You're up to like 2,000 now?
We had like 15 or 1,600. So the other day, I think it was kind of by accident, but we streamed Turtle Boy's case and everybody was streaming it. But at the same time, I did not turn our stream off. I did not turn StreamYard off. What we do is we always bring panels up and talk through lunch, like if they're on a break. So I never turned off StreamYard, and then StreamYard went down to everybody else.
Whoops.
We're the only ones that were able to continue streaming it. And so people were all of a sudden like other like Young Jerks and everybody was sending everybody to our channel. And I didn't realize what was happening. Yeah. All of a sudden I'm like, why did it go over to 200 people? Like, wait a second. Why are we at 1,000? What is going on right now? And all of a sudden people they just started subscribing and liking and sending memberships. And we were like, what is going on? So a lot of people from the Karen Reed trial did not realize that we had started our own, because we kind of did it quietly, because we left on a bad foot with that person, and we didn't want to bring that to our stuff, and we wanted our channel to be home and fun and family, and not to feel like you have to be a certain way. So
it's very much a family vibe on your channel. If you guys haven't checked them out already, go check them out. And they literally just have like these round table, like 6, 7, 8 hour streams, and they just like shenanigans in there.
Especially with court case, because we play the court case and then we talk about what's going on at court. So this, like on Monday, we started it earlier this week, but when we were on trial watch or verdict watch, but was the South Carolina versus Megan Jackson.
What in the hell kind of cat is that, man? It looks like a puma.
It's a hairless cat.
So she is the normal. She's like a sphinx, but she's called a Bambino. So she's got dwarf legs.
Oh.
But I also
means baby.
Totally.
I also have a Bengal, and we have a couple other ones that are around here somewhere. So
all right, folks, I'm gonna wrap up this stream.
You want to see the hedgehogs one more time?
Why not? For posterity.
She's asking, so I figure. Ew, here we go. Where are you at? There you are.
Do the other animals ever try to eat them?
Well, yesterday they jumped in there.
Mm.
One of the
little babies.
Cute.
They just
opened little animals, man.
That's so cute.
Honestly, I like I said, COVID ruined me, and having a kid with cancer and not, living at St. Jude by yourself for 5 months with the kids and stuff while my husband was here, that was hard. So the animals are what keep me grounded.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And then YouTube keeps me away from worrying about what's going on with my son. So
I had sugar gliders. Those are the smallest I've had.
we just lost ours. She was 10. She could only be by herself. She got beat up a lot. I had to save her one time because we had her with a baby, and usually you can put babies with the adults when they're young, but she could not. And so I bred them for a while. They're very harder. They're a lot harder though.
I used to have lizards.
But these are easy, especially when they get grown. When they're grown, they only eat cat food. They don't. It's like dry cat food.
Interesting.
Why'd you say it like that? I used to have lizards.
I was trying to be funny.
He was this big when you got him. That means he was really young. I'm still syringe feeding these babies. Oops.
Wow.
So, I still have to syringe feed them.
Adorable.
Mm-hmm.
All right, folks. Now I'm really going to close the stream. I think it's time.
Thank you for having me. I had fun.
Hey, thanks for being here, Kelly.
Thanks for joining.
Thanks, Brad Schnitzel. You guys are amazing.
Thanks for
See you guys next time.
Later.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
See you.